Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review Image number 2. This is the anthology series to celebrate 30 years of Image Comics. Let's take a look at the creative team. This is as an anthology, and as I said on the first issue, because this is an anthology book, I think every story really stands on its own. So what I'm recommending now is for you. I think this book is worth the buy if you follow any of these creators or any of these series. So let's take a look at the series inside. I'll go through a few of them that are brand new to the anthology, but everything else is just a continuation of some of the stuff we saw from the last review. So if you want to go back and check out number 1, link is in the description. So let's take a look at the creative team, and then we'll take it from there. So we have, once again, we have a few stories that continue. The Blizzard continues from last month. Gospel for a New Century by Wyatt Kennedy and Luana Vecchio continues as well. We have one more part of that in the next issue. Kaya by Wes Craig and Jason Wardy continues as well. G-Man, Exterminate All Humans, that's actually a new series as well, along with Ice Cream Man, which I'll get into a little bit more detail in a second. Stupid Fresh Mess by Scotty Young and Nate Picos. This is one of my favorite ones. It's very cartoony in the style of Scotty Young. If you want to take a look at some of the art, you can go back and look at the issue 1 video. Hopeless by America Andolfo, Chiara Di Francia, and Fabio Molina continues as well, which we saw a little bit in the cover in the front. Red Stitches by Brendan Fletcher and Erica Henderson. Shift by Kyle Higgins, Danielle DiNiccolo, Walter Biamante, Katia Ranali, and Becca Carey, which is the story in the Radiant Black universe. Gehenna Part 2 as well by Patrick Kinlan, Mauricio Rosenweig, and Jim Campbell continues on this issue as well. And then the last story is Billy Dogma, Part 2 as well, by Dean Haspiel. The cover design by Michael Busuttil. So this is kind of what we see here. So yeah, as I mentioned, I'm really enjoying this anthology. I think this is just a fun collector thing too. It is 30 years of Image. They've done stuff like this with their Image Plus magazine, but it was not as indeed. That one wasn't really all about the stories, whereas this one is. So you're getting all these anthologies. In the next issue, we'll have our first story conclude. Anything that's not a part 1, of course. We did have Old Dog by Declan Shalvey. That's actually going to kick off in its own series on its own. So these anthologies may be setting up some series for the future of Image. So it's really cool. But I do want to focus on some of the new ones for this week, for this issue. So we have Semiotics for Missing Persons by W. Maxwell Prince, Martin Morazzo, and Chris O'Halloran from the pages of Ice Cream Man. And this story, if you've read any Ice Cream Man, this story gets weird, but it's really, really cool. I am a big fan of the Ice Cream Man anthology. The Ice Cream Man series, I'll call it. It's not really an anthology, although there are some stories. I still think there's an overall through line for everything. Actually, my buddies over at the I Read Comic Books podcast, they do a really cool thing where they've read a lot of the volumes and they explain some of that stuff. So maybe you want to go check that out. I'll put their link in the description as well if you're interested in more Ice Cream Man. But the other new issue here is G-Man, Exterminate All Humans. This is a more cartoony approach, really interesting, really funny. It's only a few pages long, but I really love it feels like a newspaper comic, really, like a little comic strip from the newspaper pulled from there. So yeah, really enjoyable. Very much something that belongs in a book like this, which is an anthology. So, like I said, this book it'll really just depend on what you're looking for, what type of stories you want. Some weeks, some months, or however often it's coming out. Sometimes it may not be fully for you. Not all the stories are going to be for you. But the cool thing about anthology is you can just kind of keep going. Like I said, I'm also collecting it just as a collector of comics. I think it's going to be a fun part of comic history. Because to have so many creators work on the books, you have maybe a lot of these could be like pitches for series in the future. So like that's really interesting. So I don't know. I think overall for me, it's not so much about the stories that I'm getting, which a lot of them are fun. Some of them, I don't really connect with, so maybe I won't keep reading them. But I just move on to the next few pages, and then we get a whole new thing, right? So that's the fun part about this book. So Anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Sundays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here. And I'll leave you with a look at that beautiful cover once again. So as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.